NewGenGamers.com.
Alright everybody, welcome to another Console Wars of the Past. This is the N64 era, and today we are playing Shadows of the Empire. It's reverence.
Maybe for the fanboys.
This was an early N64 game, and one that earned some early N64 fans with the Star Wars license. One of the better N64 Star Wars games to date. Actually, I don't think there was anything better than this, probably.
No, they had the Rogue Squadron games were really good.
Well, this predated those, though.
Yeah, up to this point, this was the best one.
And that was something Nintendo worked to get. They worked out a deal with LucasArts and planned to make this a series, but apparently that didn't work out.
Well, they had an exclusive deal with LucasArts to make 5 games, and one of them was this game, and one of them was this game, the Rogue Squadron game. The Rogue Squadron games. Shit. They also did the Indiana Jones and the Infernal Machine, Battle for Naboo, and I'm having a hard time remembering the 5th one. I'm pretty sure it was a Star Wars licensed one, but I can't quite remember at this point.
Now,
yes,
I really think this is unique for this console. Having the ship and being able to go out, and it's not this board, but you go out and you have a cable that shoots out of the back of the ship that you're in, and you wrap up around the AT-ATs.
Yeah.
And you pull them down to the ground. I thought that was really inventive to do that in-game.
In 3D, yeah.
Yeah. That I think must have took some code monkeying right there.
Yeah, that took a lot of work, I'm thinking, to be able to actually do that in real time. As you can see, this is kind of like a standard type adventure. Oh, you dirty rat! Alright, we're gonna roll up here and...
Of course, now the graphics for this time and period, I think are actually pretty good, but, you know, if this were here and now, we'd be a little disappointed. It looks a little dated to some of you that
started with PlayStation 2 and on.
Yeah, but
for the era, it looked really well. Really good. Really well. Uh-huh.
They actually did a wonderful job of creating the design for the tiling.
Yeah, the textures kind of flow pretty well for an early N64 game. And I'm looking around here. The door does not have a switch nearby. Try activating the door itself. Thank you. Oh, I was waiting for it to go off the screen there. How do you...
Yeah, this was a really good early 3D game on the N64. Kind of as a follow-up to Super Mario 64. There really wasn't a whole lot else out on the system at that time that would let you explore a world this way. It was tough for these developers to get a 3D engine down at the time, and the N64 really helped usher in some really good 3D games, basically with Super Mario 64, which we're not going to be taking a look at today, but if you'd like to see more of that, check out Ray's retro review of it, and you can see Ray win the first level.
Yes, I did rather well at Super Mario 64, and we actually have a retro review for every Mario game. We did a special Mario Madness week, here at newgengamers.com, and we've got that all chronicled for you. I am dying here.
You're talking about your fanboyism right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Oh, at least it restarted me right here.
But, I mean, you're not a fanboy without purpose.
Crap.
I mean, the Mario games were good.
Yeah, then I wouldn't have played the crap out of them if they weren't good. I mean, I was playing Mario games for a good 20 years.
What are you talking about? You're still playing Mario games.
And I'm about 20-some. So, that's about right. And we are traversing through the corridors here.
Now, one thing you'll notice with this is that while it does have some decent textures, the texture RAM for the N64 was extremely, extremely limited. So basically, they just had to blow up the textures, which gave them a really washed out look. And the PlayStation's graphics kind of had a jaggy look. The edges weren't rounded quite as much as the N64 game through some different engines built onto the hardware. But it seemed that there was a better draw distance, there was more texture cache, you saw a lot better textures on the PS1. And Ray falls to his doom.
Wow, I'm completely sucking this one up here.
So this is one where you can see them trying to put some textures in, but it is kind of limited. You can see off in the distance it starts getting a little foggy,
yeah.
Which that would become synonymous with N64 games down the road.
Yeah, the more there was to the game, the more the draw distance started to fade. I mean, as you can see,
it went away past that point, but there was fog there. The Turok series was the worst case of that, I think, through a continued series. But if you look at Nintendo's games, they either found creative workarounds for that or, eliminated it completely. Rare would do things where they would just basically make a bunch of tiny textures and overlay them to create kind of a mosaic look, which, it took a lot of ingenuity to do that because the system was hard to program for.
Well, that's why Rare and Nintendo were one of the only big developers for the system, because they were the only ones that could truly get its full potential out. Alright, well, after another fall to our doom, we're going to be done with this one, so it's time to move on.
When Luke Skywalker was most vulnerable,
This is a dangerous time for you. It is you and your abilities the Emperor wants.
when a renegade hero became a friend in desperate need, and a dark villain faced his greatest challenge.
Join me, and together we can rule the galaxy as father and son.
When the Empire turned more and more to the forces of the underworld.
Bounty hunters. We don't need that scum.
The underworld moved in to crush the Empire and the Rebellion in a single stroke. After The Empire Strikes Back and before Return of the Jedi, there was a time when heroes and villains alike lived in the shadows of the Empire.
NewGenGamers.com.